It's being called the largest human trafficking case in U.S. history by the federal government. The head of a mainland labor recruiting company and 5 others are accused of human trafficking by luring 400 workers from Thailand to work on farms in Hawaii and elsewhere for little to no money. One of those farms includes the popular Alun farms, and now the nonprofit organization called Maui Economic Opportunity is trying to help the victims of human trafficking with federal dollars. And joining us this morning is the group's CEO and president on the end there, Sandy Baz, along with immigration attorney in the case, Claire Hannes. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Claire, why don't I start off with you first? So what's the latest in these cases? And you have about 90 clients, right?
That's correct. We're representing about 90 victims of both who worked at both Alun farms and other farms throughout the state and throughout Hawaii. They're 2 separate cases, but they have connections. The one case, Alun, there had been a plea agreement struck with Alec and Mike Sue, and then the judge threw out the plea agreement last month. So that case is now set for trial in November. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed forward, but right now it's on the court docket for November. The other case, the other case, Global Horizons, there were 6 people indicted. The head of Global Horizons and the chief person who spoke Thai and was kind of the middle person are both currently detained at the Federal Detention Center. And I don't think there's a trial date set for that yet, but it's been, the government is classifying as a complex case because of the number of workers involved. Global actually brought about 1,100 workers. So there will be superseding indictments that will include those.
And you've been talking to many of these people from Thailand, and some of them have really emotional stories. They're separated from their families. Can you share anything that you've learned by talking to them?
Well, I mean, they all have very, very compelling and emotional stories. They all made a bargain that they'd be gone from their families for 3 years in exchange for 3 years of work. And many of them had worked overseas before. And that's just what people in a lot of countries have to do, the Philippines, Thailand, Indonesia. What's really tragic about this is in all of the cases, their family land was put up as collateral. And then when they got to the United States, the work was not here as promised. And some of them have been able to still pay back their loans. Some of them have not. So some are on the verge of losing the family land. Almost all of them have children, some who were only 2 weeks old or a few weeks old when they had to leave for the United States, and they haven't seen their kids in 5 or 6 years.
And Sandy, how is Maui Economic Opportunity trying to help these people?
Well, MEO is a statewide grantee for a program called the National Farm Worker Jobs Program. And this is a federal Department of Labor program that allows farm workers who are either migrant or seasonal workers to be able to get better employment and things. So these workers, if they choose to remain in the United States, which they're allowed to as part of the plea agreement, would be eligible for this program. What we do is start off with a basic employment assessments, learn their skills and what their opportunities are. Sometimes we do things like English as a second language, training and basic core services, teach them how to do interviewing and job skills. And we also do intensive services like teaching them to get their CDL license so they can
have any of these workers been able to get their green cards yet, and are they getting the money right now?
Not yet. They have to go through a process, and once they've gone through this process and they get their green card, and if they remain in the United States they wish to, then they will definitely be a part of our program. This is a statewide program that we've been operating for about 40 years, and we do provide a lot of services to clients on the Big Island, Kauai, Oahu, and especially on Maui. So.
Claire, let me ask you this. This is sort of a broad question, really quickly. Why should people care about this case?
Oh, why should people care? I think we should care about the food that we eat and where it comes from. A lot of us are trying really hard to eat local and what's grown locally. We want to make sure that those are picked by people who are paid fair wages and who aren't held in conditions of modern slavery.
All right. Claire Hannes and Sandy Baz, thank you so much for joining us. An important issue this morning.
Thank you.
And stick around. We've got more news ahead on KITV4. The time now is 6:50.